I just want to say thank you, Jenny, and your awesome student for giving me this opportunity to come here and give this session. And I think I'm going to do this every Friday for the next month. Is that right? Was that the plan?
We need to confirm that.
Okay. All right, cool. Because I know Jaime gave me a lot of amazing topics to cover. So we'll do that. All right, so my name is Yusufchowdhury. I'm a digital marketing consultant. I help small businesses, startups, and other advertising agencies on how to use digital marketing to basically bring tons of traffic to their website. So that's what I do as a hobby and as my business, okay? If you want to connect with me, these are the social channels. Feel free to write down the cell phone number. If you have any question, ask me anytime. I'm serious, like anytime. Text me at night. There's a chance you might get a text back, okay? And that is my personal website. So, now, how many of you in this room heard the word or the statement online reputation before? How many of you heard that word? Nobody? Okay. So when you hear this online reputation, what's the first thing that comes in your mind?
So like what people see or feel when they see your Instagram or Facebook.
Okay. Okay. What else? That's good. What else? Defamation, like somebody's like bad information, bad history, right?
People that use the name of somebody else to put message and seems like it will be you, but really somebody else.
Like fraud. Okay, what else it means to you? Besides maybe a fraud, maybe folks looking at different stuff on Instagram, Snapchat.
What about ratings?
Right.
Like customer satisfaction.
Customer satisfaction. Yeah.
Traffic.
I like that one too, traffic, yes. Excellent. Okay. So typically reputation can involve everything. It can involve your quality of your name, like what kind of service you provide, what kind of brand you are about. You'd be surprised that almost, I believe, 40% of the businesses or any consumer that going to start a business with you, before they do that, you know what they do first? Like let's say they met you at the conference or they met you somewhere, the first thing they do is Google your name. Right? They are going to Google your name. Why? Because they want to know who they're dealing with. So make sure tonight or right now, Google your name and see what shows up. Okay, and see what comes up. Maybe your picture or a cat's picture or something like, oh, what is this? This is not me. Okay? So let's look at this statement real quick. Y'all know this guy, right? Maybe? Warren Buffett, right? Y'all know him? Okay, so let's kind of ponder on the statement. I mean, he said what? It takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. Right? If you think about that, you'll do something different. So what does that mean? What does it mean take me 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes is going to be destroyed? Any stories, any ideas that you guys seen recently?
Kanye West.
What about, I'm sorry?
Kanye West.
Kanye West? Have you guys heard of that, the top executive who was slapping that guy in Uber?
What?
The doctor.
The doctor also?
Yeah.
Who thought, right? And it was all online, it was all like, right? I mean, you talk about executive of Taco Bell, right? I mean, talking about years of work and now just completely gone, right? And there are some businesses that unfortunately, if you see them in an event and you Google their name, and unfortunately, you might end up finding a lot of negative information, like they've been in jail or they did some crimes or fraud. And so what are you going to do with those information? What about you having a restaurant and you have these nasty customers leaving like bad reviews? That can be also a reputation, right? So how are you going to fix those? Right? Okay. So that's when it can destroy you in like 5 minutes. Now, just a few things we need to understand some of the facts and the statistics. That 94% of the click that is done or the search that is done on Google is almost like 94%. That means everyone that you're going to deal with, somehow they're going to find you. Does that make sense? Somehow your information will be provided, whether you like it or not. I mean, I used to talk to this chiropractor in California. He used to tell me, Yusuf, I don't want to have a social media presence. I don't want a patient, whether it's mad or sad or happy, to give me some reviews because I don't have the time. I said, well, okay, let me try to do this. Let's go and let's open this Twitter, something called Twitter. Let's go to search and type the name of your practice. Right? And guess what we found? We have a bunch of good comments and bad comments. And guess what? He's not in it. So what happened when you have patients give you good reviews or bad reviews and you're not responding, what is going to happen to new customers when they see that? Oh, this business owner's too busy. He has no respect. People give him good reviews, he doesn't say thank you. People give him bad reviews, he doesn't even care. Does that make sense? So regardless whether you want to have your name present online or you don't want to, it's there. Okay? It's there. So does that statement make sense? Right? 94%? Now, check this out. Almost 90% of consumers will trust opinion posted online by another consumer. Is that a true statement? Where do we see that? It is the most common place most of us go to buy stuff. Amazon. Right? I never bought anything from Amazon without looking at reviews.
Best Buy.
Or Best Buy, right?
Oh, there's
Oh, terrible. Okay. All right, good example. Betty. So yeah, I mean, Amazon, you see a lot of reviews. Why? Because you want to see the feedback from somebody like us who use the product and give their feedback. Even if you have like 50 reviews and 15 is bad, people still buy it because, 35, are good. Does that make sense? So that's why this matters too. Even your social media presence matters. So if y'all, since in college, how many of you have a LinkedIn account? Awesome. There you go. Yes. You need to have one. It's like, no. What happened? If you don't work, that's what most companies that know, that's what they look for. They actually look at your LinkedIn account. I'm going to look at your Facebook for sure, but they want to see in LinkedIn what you have, because that's how they hire you, through the LinkedIn, okay? All right, so 42% of consumers of businesses who search somebody before doing business. That's a lot, 40% looking for your name. That's why, right now, if you have time, if you go home, just Google your name and see what shows up. Okay, just Google your name. You can Google my name too, because I dominate from the first page all the way till the 8th. It's like I'm the only Yusuf in Google. There was another Yusuf basically got mad at me. He was like, man, what the heck? He's like, you're on the first page and the second page, you're an abomination to all the yusufchowdhurys. He got so mad. Now, out of the 42% that look for your name, for your business, 45 of them discover something might be good or bad that will change their mind. Does that make sense? So out of the first, 42%, 45% of those people, if they find good information, they'll make a decision based on that information. If they found bad information, they will change the decision as well. Unfortunately, I know one guy here in San Antonio, sadly, if you just type his name, nothing but bad stuff. Okay? Sad. And I told him how to fix it, but unfortunately, I helped him, but I have to stay out for a while. Because I don't know how people are going to take it, right? All right. Now, when it comes to social media, 70% of people on social media pay attention to other people's feedback and comment, recommendation. How many of you see some comments in Twitter about product? Somebody go to JCPenney and they take a picture and they give a feedback, or Instagram or Facebook. So if 70% are doing that, that tells you what? If you're a business owner or if you're a college student and you want to have a good career, what does that mean? You need to have some good reputation. Does that make sense? When I say reputation, I mean like good content, cool stuff, nothing something crazy like smoking ganja. You got to be careful, okay? You can do it, but don't put it online. Okay, and here we go. 65% of the consumers will actually learn about the product and services through the social media. How many of you here in Facebook? I'm assuming all of you in Facebook. Yeah. Okay. How many of you here in Pinterest? Okay. How many of you on Instagram? That means some Instagram. Okay. Of course, we mentioned LinkedIn, YouTube. Anybody that's a YouTuber here in the house? Awesome. Okay. What about Stumble Upon? Oh yeah, I love it. Okay. Reddit. Sweet. Reddit. What about the Kumbaya?
Yeah.
right? Oh, I just made it up. Okay, so because if you know, but it's like, yeah. Do you know how many social media channels out there?
Too many.
Too many?
Yeah.
Give me a number.
400?
You're close. Give me more.
500.
Yeah, very close.
550.
Yeah, you let go a little bit down. It's 550 more. Okay, 555, 554. There's a website I want to write it down. It's called knowem.com. Like, you know, KNOWEM.com. Just go to knowem.com. This is a service where if you put your brand name, like your personal name or your business name, it will show you on which of the 550 channels that name is taken. Okay, so this is very good. Why? Because right now, you remember back like 10, 15 years ago, if you're a small business and you're very successful, someone's going to buy the domain name for your business and sell it to you for like $10,000. Remember those days, right? Now, there are people that actually do that through social media. They get your Twitter account, they get your WordPress account, they get your YouTube account. So if you want to create one, they're going to sell it to you. Okay? In fact, if anybody go to Geekdom, it's an awesome place, right? Right? So they didn't have a Geekdom Twitter account because somebody else, I think from Belgium, I could be wrong, but maybe Nick Longo will correct me on that. So somebody else had the Geekdom account. So Geekdom had to pay a lot of money to get that account back for themselves. Okay? Yes?
Is there no trademark laws that apply to the names like that?
That is an excellent question. Yes, possibly if there's a trademark law, yeah, you can apply, but some of those accounts are overseas. They're not in the state. So they have to deal with them and talk to them and see how you can buy it. But yeah, if you have a trade, mark, then of course you have to have the attorney get involved and take the name. But the point is, even the social media, your brand has to be consistent. That's the thing. So if your name is Geekdom or I don't know, Crazy Ninja, that means everything has to be the same name in Twitter and YouTube and Facebook. It has to be consistent because people are going to search for your brand name even on the social channels. And if the name is the same, if the name is consistent, it'll be easier for them. Does that make sense? All right. Any questions so far? No? Oh, a genius. Okay. Oh, there you go. 53 will compliment brands. That means they'll give you some good feedback. They'll say thank you. And also, 50% will complain. So 50% of your custom public will complain on the social media. Back in 8 years ago, if you have a problem, we have some issues, we call them and complain and yell, and that's about it. But now you don't have to do that. You know how back in the day we used to pull out our phone, I'm going to call the attorney, and you don't even have one. It's not going to show up, right? But now you don't have to worry about it. Because all you have to do is, I'm going to tweet. That's it. Just say I'm going to tweet, and they're going to freak out. That's what scared them. Okay? I'm going to tweet, and that's it. They're about to give you some discount. So that's how you complain. So that's the trick. You want some tickets, go to the airline. This service sucks. All of you get hang up together and send I'm giving bad advice, sorry, but it works sometimes. Okay? So that's what I mean by complain. So now if 50% complain, that means you as a business owner, if you're a business owner, you have to take that into consideration. What I mean by that, if there's a chance that possibly 50% of my customer might complain, then how I'm going to respond to it. So you have to be ready for that, okay? A lot of small local businesses, what they do, I'm going to delete it right away. I said, no, you don't want to do that. Because if you delete it, maybe somebody else is going to take a snapshot of that thing, right? And plus, it proves to them that you are doing something wrong. So the proper way of handling that situation is what? You respond professionally. That's it. When people see that, your new customers or existing customers, they'll be like, oh, wow, look, this business owner really trying their best to fix the issue. They're not ignoring it. There's a transparency. Does that make sense? Does it? Okay. All right. I don't want to make you all fall asleep. And it's a weekend. So how can we build this online reputation management? The first thing is we have to understand that we must have what we call an online presence. When I say online presence, Google your name, Bing your name, that sounds weird, Yahoo your name, right? Just search for it and see what shows up. Is it your social media account? Is it a picture of you when you're a baby? Okay, is it your, ebooks, YouTube videos? That's the first thing, because if you have a presence, that means you have an authority. Does that make sense? If you have a presence online, that means, oh, you're somebody well known. You're somebody that maybe has to offer something. But don't have something like crappy and scary stuff, Okay? So that's the first thing. We need to understand what is online presence. What I mean by that, the search engine. The second thing is you need to make sure that, do I have a social media presence? So some businesses, yes, they might have a website, right? They might have a website, but they might have a Facebook account. They might not have a YouTube account. So do I exist in those channels? Okay? I mean, you can go to Facebook, you can go to Twitter, you can go to YouTube, just do a search and see if you exist. If you want to utilize all of them, that is up to you. But nowadays, people actually look for that, especially for businesses. They want to make sure, if you're a business owner, the first thing they want to do they have a Facebook? Why? Because I want to engage with them, I want to talk to them. Do they have a Twitter account? Do they have an Instagram? Okay? Happy customers. And I see this a lot with a lot of local businesses where they say, yes, we have happy customers, but not a single reviews, not a single testimonials. I'm like, why not? If you have a happy customer, talk to them. Tell them, go to Google. I have a Google business page. Go there, give me some reviews. I have a Yelp account. Give me some reviews. I have a Facebook business page. Give me some testimonial. Because happy customers matter.
I used to work for a bail bondsman. The way they would get people to go online and actually give them good reviews would be through offering a discount, like a 10% discount on whatever they were buying, if they would go online and give a good review about, buying from them.
Right.
So.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that. But I wish there was an attorney in this room because you have to be very careful from that technique. Because why? There is no sincerity in that review. Because I'm going to give a review because, I got a discount. But you have to be very careful how you do it. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, I know Yelp got in a lot of trouble last year, or people doing something like that too. Okay? My advice, my technique is this. If I have a restaurant, this is what I would do. In fact, forget that. If you have a Twitter account, you can say Tuesday special. Right? You have Twitter followers, Tuesday special, bring your friend, bring your significant other, you get another plate, free or whatnot, right? They come in, they go to the restaurant, and in the restaurant, you should have something like a tabletop that has, hey, if you give us a review, we'd appreciate it, or if you give us a review, next time you can probably, have a new special for you. So it's a gray area, right? But you don't want to announce it publicly, hey, if you come here, we're going to pay you, give us a review. Yes, it might work, but you have to be very, very careful how you word it. And somebody else going to come after and say, hey, you actually, if some customer finds out that they're getting the review because of a discount, then it's not sincere. Does that make sense? So if there's a happy customer, you tell them. Like some restaurant, what they do when you get the receipt, it says there, would appreciate your, for being here. Would you like to give us a feedback or comment or review? Would appreciate it. That's it. But I know, just be careful how you word that because it's a very gray area. All right? Bribery. Okay. The other one is review sites like Yelp, Zagat. All these websites still kind of comes into consideration. So if you're in the business, make sure that if you can put some reviews in yellow pages or super pages, those actually matters for your reputation. That means your reputation is good. Does that make sense? The more reviews, the better. All right. Any more questions about how to ask for some sort of testimonials? And you know what? Sometimes you can be a little bit creative. You can be a little bit creative on how to get those reviews, right? So you can test different things at the local places, different things through your offers, different things through, like for example, contest. You can run a contest and see who wins this contest and tell them what was your experience and maybe take a video live. What was your experience? It was great. All right, that's why we put it on Facebook. Okay. Okay, and ask for their permission too. I know Taco Bell used to do something. Here's the thing, Taco Bell a couple of years ago, they did like some sort of contest telling the audience or the customers, if you do like a video, we're going to give you a prize or something like that, right? So that contest, what did it do? It created a lot of followers on Facebook. And people automatically just start to say good things without them asking for good feedback. Does that make sense? It's just that experience of, everyone's doing like funny videos and whatnot. That became like a buzz, and that created a lot of cool stuff. See? So you have to come with something like that. All right, any more questions? Are we all good? Yes? No? I cannot read minds, All right, so right now what you also have to do is monitor your brand. That means you have to really check and see your name. What's happening to your name? What is happening to your business name? Who's looking for it? What are people saying about it? Do they have like some sort of negative comment about you? Right? If they have a negative comment, how you're going to respond to it? Does that make sense? So there are some tools Out there. Yes, hi.
Can I speak? Oh, hi, how are you? Hi.
Okay, we'll continue. I was like confused. All right. Anyway, so you have to use some of these tools to track the conversation about your brand. The first one is Google Alerts, and it's free. Just go to Google and Google Alerts, okay? And sign up, and you can set it up where you can get information on a, Betty, is it a daily or weekly?
It's up to you.
It's up to you, right? So you can set up a daily or a weekly basis. So what happened, if anybody type your name or write an article about you, or somehow they mention your name, Google will send you an alert that there's an article, there's something mentioned about you or about your brand. And some people use it to actually monitor the competitor. So if you have a competitor, you want to track them, you want to see what the customer is saying. Like for example, anybody knows Scott Stratton? He's an awesome guy, the author of On Marketing, the author of QR Code Kills Kitten. Okay, yeah, Scott Stratton, he's from Canada. So one day he was mentioning a story. He's Canadian, eh? He was mentioning a story about he was tweeting with his brother about some issue with the phone service, right? So his brother saying that, yeah, this company, sucked, the service is not good and whatnot, and they're going back and forth. And suddenly, Virgin Mobile jumped in and said, hey, by the way, you can always switch with us, and we're just saying. Because they were listening to the conversation of the competitor and what the customer is saying. The customer not happy, so Virgin Mobile, kind of strategically in a funny way, they didn't intrude the guy. They just said, hey, you can always switch and just check it out. We're just saying it. We're just saying it. I'm like, that's hilarious, right? And the brother did move. Why? Because Virgin Mobile, even though they are not his provider, but they listen. Does that make sense? So you can use Google Alerts to check your brand, check keywords. If I'm a dentist in San Antonio, I'm going to look for keywords like San Antonio dentist in San Antonio, and see what information shows up. Or I can look at my competitor and see what the customer is saying about my competitor. It's like spying on them, right? The other tool I like is called Tagboard. Tagboard.com. This is mostly for social media. So what Tagboard.com does, just like the hashtag, it will pull real-time conversation about any hashtag or key phrase within Facebook, Vine, Instagram, I don't know if Google Plus is still there, and what is it, Flickr, right? So there's like a 5 social media channel that it will give you all the conversation in real time. So you will see what's happening in Instagram, what's happening in Twitter, if there is some sort of conversation in real time. So this is amazing. So I can see actual real-time talk right now in Twitter, let's say about yoga. What are people saying about yoga? Or about your business, or about your brand? And based on those conversations, you can involve, you can jump in and start talking to them. Isn't that awesome? I'm like getting excited, y'all like.
Is this specifically for the hashtags? It's not
It is, yeah, it's for the hashtag, but you can put any words. You can put your brand name, your business name. You can just put any keywords and see what comes up. That's called Tagboard. You can also make your own brand and follow the conversation. So for example, when I go live on Periscope, I use yusufchowdhury. So I have an account called tagboard.com/yusufchowdhury, then I see all the retweets from other people. So I thank them. Thank you for the we appreciate it. I like that. Thank you. So now I'm building a relationship with people that I never met that's sharing my content. Isn't that amazing? Right? Isn't that amazing? Okay, it's amazing. All right. The third one is called Social Mention. Socialmention.com. This is basically, again, you look at your competitor and see the ranking, the system, what kind of hashtag and keyword and key phrases are mentioned for my competitor. So I can learn from their conversation, learn from their traffic, and apply it to my own. Or I can see what's happening to my brand. Am I ranking more than the other person? Am I reaching more audience or not? So that is the socialmention.com, okay? One of my favorites is called If This Then That. IFTTT.com is an awesome 100% free tool. If this then that. they probably have more than 200 rules. So let's say if this, which is Periscope, go live, then post it in Facebook. So when Periscope goes live, it automatically goes to my Facebook. I can set up any rule. If this, somebody mentioned my name, put it to Google Docs. It goes to my Google Docs. Okay? So you can set up so many rules using if this then that for tracking your brand or just tracking your competitor or just see what's happened. Okay? Ice Rocket is another tool that basically will check for your name on the blog, if you have any blog content, and social media sites. It's made by, I think, Meltwater Ice Rocket, so check it out. Moz Local, this is for local businesses. So if you have, like, an actual office, you go to moz.com/local, okay? moz.com/local, type the name of your business and the zip code. This way, Moz Local will show you if you exist in Google Business Page, if you exist in Yelp or Super Pages or not. Okay? Or you do exist, but you're not claiming the name. You have to claim it. Or you exist, but there are a few information I'm missing. Some of them have reviews. I've seen so many customers that their customer leave reviews on their Facebook business page and they don't even reply. But Moz Local will show you that. They will show you all the reviews in Yelp and Google Plus and whatnot. That's part of the online reputation management, as we call it, because we want to see what are people saying about you. The word of mouth is always kind of strong, right? When it comes to online, it's the digital word of mouth. It stays there. It doesn't go anywhere. Okay? It stays like you can't escape it. Okay? So these are some of the tools. I mean, there are like hundreds of them. I don't want to make you lose your hair, so I just shared only 6 for today, okay? Any questions so far about why we need to monitor our brand? Good? We good? Yes.
It sounds like you suggest that we should respond to almost anything, positive stuff, negative stuff. The problems that I've run into with my particular business is that it's a niche market, so people get pretty excited about it, and then I have certain folks that make themselves experts in this certain niche market, and when there's technical inaccuracies, it's often it's difficult to correct them without offending them, and then you're offending somebody who has a huge following.
Right.
And so I've actually started to not respond so much because I don't want to just be the smarty pants of the internet that shuts down all these actually positive conversations.
That's an excellent point. If I were you, I'll blog about it indirectly.
Okay.
See?
So address the issue.
Yes, indirectly, without even talking to a particular person. Okay. Then let the conversation start from there. Okay. That's one. Secondly, start your own group.
Right.
Start your own Facebook group. Bring the people in there and have the conversation start from there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because I know you're right. Sometimes even in my digital marketing industry, there are some folks that give advice that is extremely horrible. And I'm like, what are you doing? Eating some burnt cookies? I mean, it's crazy. And you can't even suggest, because unfortunately some people have this ego problem. Right? And when like me, I'm like a brown fella. Who's gonna listen to this guy? So they don't want to take you seriously sometimes because they think that you're not nobody, right? That's fine. That's their audience. So the technique is, play diplomacy, play a little bit of not dirty politics, but just play that innocent person, that kind of naive. Sometimes I act like I don't want to. It's called a secret, like stupid, because that way nobody would know that I'm smart, right? So that's what you do. So in that situation, you have an opportunity to start writing something completely in a separate content that people are actually searching for. And you can indirectly address those questions without attacking them.
Right, perfect.
See, that way you're not going to have any problems. That's it. And just lead the conversation. And to be honest with you, a good business person, a good business owner is not going to get offended. In fact, there are things that I don't know. People disagree with me. Sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm right. And I admit it publicly. Yes, you know what? I made a mistake on this one. I learned it and I fixed it. Let's move on. Right? Because we have to collaborate and understand rather than this the so-called guru mentality, right? Yeah, I don't like that word. Okay. Any question about, yes, you had a question about monitoring, right? No? Yes? No?
No.
You good? All right. Okay. Here's another thing. These are all those tips. Be laser focused. Like define your niche, right? Be laser focused. So, and this is really true. I mean, I've seen some people, they have like 3 businesses, 4 businesses. And there's a problem with that. I love that statement from, Robert Kiyosaki about, focus stands for focus only one course until successful, right? Because what happened, if you want to chase 2 rabbits at the same time, I don't know how you're going to do that. Unless you have some sort of Jedi power, right? Okay? So you got to be laser focused. So in business, like when I started digital marketing, believe it or not, I actually blogging, then YouTube videos. That's how it came to the online marketing through one niche. But later on, when they asked for a lot of different, areas of the online marketing, I got into it. I learned all of them. Then I hired a team to do all the work. Okay? But initially, you can't sell yourself. Like, I've seen some people like, hey, I sell this coffee, that's my business, but I also am a carpenter, and I can also do breakdance. So, what are you? Like, which one is which? Right? A couple of years ago, I did a seminar with this one person who used to sell Facebook advertising services. Like, he's like an expert in the Facebook advertising niche, right? When he did the last seminar, he was also talking about selling this phone service. And I told him not to do that. You're going to ruin it. So he did a class on Facebook advertising, but when the time came to, give out the business card, he was like selling the phone card flyers. So the audience, these nice old gentlemen, like 4 of them, they're like the veterans, right? They're like, I'm kind of confused. I mean, you're teaching about this, but you're selling this. I mean, what's going on? Are you okay? You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to do that. You got to focus on one thing. And the laser focus is not just in the business, but in your message. Like you see me, I mean, that's not how I talk. That's not how I am. I guess I'm always going to be like this, right? If one day you see me, I'm wearing a suit, all professional, something not right with this guy, okay? Something happened to him, okay? That's not me. Okay? Something is wrong. I'm not going to listen to him. Oh, he's brainwashed. So you got to be consistent in the message. Does that make sense? So that's why laser focus is so important. About your product, how you deliver it, your style. Because when people say, my business is like somebody else, well, that's not 100% true. Yes, all of you can sell the same service, but what about your character? What about your style? What about the way you deal with people? That nobody can copy. Does that make sense? And secondly, of course, define your niche. So when somebody says, I'm a math tutor, this is my business. When I ask them, who's your audience? Everyone is my audience. No, that's not going to work. There's no such thing as everybody's magazine. Okay? You got to nicheify that business, then you can expand later on. So what I tell people, like, if you're a math tutor, why don't you focus with, I don't know, go ahead and hit target a specific audience based on how you feel comfortable. Maybe professional single mothers with 3 kids. Very specific. So when you run the ad, are you a professional single mother who have 3 kids that need help with the math tutoring? Okay? So in that situation, what happens, not too many people that are in that condition will look for you. But few of them that look for you, what's going to happen? They're going to actually hire you. There's a more chance of hiring than going to everybody. Does that make sense? Then when you build your business, you get a few clients from here, you ask for a referral, then you can expand. But initially, there's no way that you can do, from my experience, everything. So you got to pick your niche. Okay? And then stay consistent with your content. What I mean by that, if you start doing YouTube videos, stick with YouTube videos. If you blog about your product and services, about how-tos, stay consistent with it. Like if you post every Monday, post every Monday. Okay? Don't talk about, how to cook, brisket, and one day how to do like break dance with my head. It's not gonna work. That's gonna completely freak out people. Like, what's going on with this dude? Okay?
I have a question. So
yes.
Does consistency also fall into sticking to one social media, or is that different? Actually?
That is a beautiful question. So the question was.
Focus yourself on one specific social media.
Yeah, I like that. So the question is consistency only picking up one social platform? Not necessarily, because social media is just a platform like any other platform, right? When you use online presence, sometimes you're not gonna like this, but you gotta be almost everywhere, if you can. I know sometimes if you're wearing all kinds of hats, it's not gonna be easy for you, but you have to be everywhere. So like, for instance, I have a Periscope, I have a Twitter account, I have a LinkedIn account. So the information that I put are consistent, but the style is different.
But
What do you mean by that?
Always on the same subject.
On the same idea, same subject. Let's say in Twitter, you have 140 characters. Twitter tips. If you do this, you will have fun. Whatever. And Facebook, by doing this and climbing up and this, you're going to have fun. So it's a little bit different. The message is the same. The topic is the same. But the delivery might be a little bit different. Does that make sense? Yes?
So you know how you can link all these together?
Mm-hmm.
So if you make an Instagram video, it just shoots it right to your Twitter and to your Facebook.
Yeah.
You think that's then not a good idea?
Yes and no. Yes and no. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why no. If I posted a picture, please click like. That applies to Facebook, right? But if the same image went to Twitter, nobody's going to understand that. Twitter folks are going to think that you're on crack, right? They're gonna, what is that? What are you talking about like? What is this, right? If it goes to Pinterest, what is that? Do you see what I'm saying? So if you share a general content, general statement, let's say, this is an awesome blog that I wrote, check it out. That can go everywhere because it's a general statement. It doesn't, that's one thing. Secondly, if your audience are the same, there's no point sending the same thing everywhere.
Too repetitive.
Yeah, because it becomes like redundant, like, I saw it here and I saw it here and I saw it there, it becomes redundant. But if a different audience, then yes, you can use Hootsuite or TweetDeck or Buffer Apps, which is another platform to distribute your content, then you can use that. But you gotta be very, very careful how you reward it. Like for example, anybody build a self-hosted website on WordPress? If you use WordPress platform or WordPress application, they have a plugin called CoSchedule for the WordPress platform. And what CoSchedule does, if you blog on the back end of the website, you can actually customize the messages for the social channels. So when the blog is posted automatically on your website, there's a specific message will go to Twitter with its own message, and to Facebook with its own message, and to Pinterest with its own message. That's like looks more authentic. Does that make sense? So that's why I said yes and no. Okay? Excellent question. Be authentic, be human. Don't type like you're writing for, I don't know, Shakespeare, thesis, anything like that. Keep it just like the way you talk on the street, right? The way you talk on the street, do the same thing on the social media. Just because when people read your stuff, like you read the comment and meet in real life, it has to be similar. Do you see what I'm saying?
Is there a thing as like too much social media, too much promotion, like posting something every hour, like?
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that, but it depends though, because if you're a news agency, like the CNN and Huffington Post or PBS, my God, they post like every second, because the news feed comes up, right? So I think their audience are okay with it. But for a business, you have to test it. There is no rule that says too much is too much, because some audience might like, too much. I don't know, there's a website that shows pictures of people. I don't know, people like pictures, I guess they like it, right? Like the Peoples of Walmart. Anybody read that book? No? Should check it out. Another bad advice. Anyway, so be human, be authentic, and always add value. So what do you mean by value? I know I said value. What is it, like $5? What do you mean by value?
To give you a solution to your problem.
Oh, look at that, Betty. Wow.
You have a problem, I can help you.
Yes. Can you help me?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk. So that's true. Absolutely. When I talk about value, like how to, tips, right? Case studies. Does that make sense? Because the value that you're giving, like exactly how Betty said, that value will basically change, or it will give a positive outcome to your audience. So if I'm teaching somebody how to get traffic through Facebook, and they read it, they applied it, and they got traffic, it improved their situation. Does that make sense? Not just a bunch of information, but information to change, or to have a change on them, to have a positive change or some sort of result-based change. So the content you share, not just for the sake of the content, you're sharing it to educate your customer so they can benefit from it. Does that make sense? That's what I mean by value. And sometimes, it's not just that. You can also help them. Some of them are going to ask you a question on Facebook. Do your best to help them. It doesn't have to be for money all the time. If you can answer in 5 minutes, do it. Answer in 5 minutes. Don't be too stingy. No, I'm going to charge you $1,000 for 1 minute. No, just give it to them. You know why? Because when you do that slowly, the trust builds up, right? The community builds up, and now they're going to talk about you. They're going to tell other people, the word of mouth. Does that make sense? So that's what we mean by value. Not just in the content, but in terms of service. How do you provide service? Like, for instance, if you talk to Nick Longo, I'm sorry, not Nick Longo, people that work at Rackspace, there was some manager that used to give their phone number, their cell phone number to their customers. And some of these customers from overseas, and they're going to call him like, 4 or 5 in the morning, and they do respond. I mean, that's like beyond, awesome customer service. Does that make sense? That's value. You see what I'm saying? That in itself becomes a value. So it's not just the content, but the brand itself. Does that make sense? Yes? No? Yes? Okay, cool. Don't be too promotional. That's one of the biggest mistakes with all the businesses. All the time. They start out Facebook page, and the first thing they do, buy my stuff, buy my shoes, buy my nose, right? don't do that. It's called social media for a reason. That means socializing in the media channel. Right? So, if you post, let's say once a day in Facebook as an example, maybe on Friday you do a promotion. But don't always say, look at this new product, look at this thing. That's like billboard, that's like traditional marketing. No one wants to hear that. Okay?
What about if the promotion is about the show that will be the end,
The end of time?
No, the end of February or the Valentine's Day. There is a friend that I have.
You can. That's seasonal, you can.
He's promoting his show so many times that I'm going to cut it off from my Facebook.
Okay, but there's somebody doing that? Okay, see how you should experience that now? You got tired of it.
Yeah, I will cut him until they finish the show.
Then you're going to go back?
I go back.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
tired because it's like they never finish.
Never finish, right? Ting, 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 notification, ting, 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 right? I mean, it depends on the audience. I mean, it depends on the market. It depends on the business. It depends on the audience. If they're okay with it, they're okay with it. But with me, I always tell a lot of startups and businesses, just focus more on the value. The value could be something educational, or like, some extra, what they do, they say, I'm going to be online from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Go ahead and ask me a question. I'm here to help you. That's a value. You can just sit there, have a webcam or Google Hangout or Periscope and just sit there and offer answers. That's value. And that builds, again, trust. Okay? All right, but like I said, don't be too promotional, otherwise you're going to be a jerk. All right. Be transparent. Yeah, don't be scared. Okay? Don't be scared. Be transparent. When you make a mistake, I know it's kind of hard sometimes for a lot of folks, but look at what happened a couple of years ago with, Domino's? Right? The guy who was, doing something with Domino's and made a video on YouTube, something. I don't know, he was putting his armpit, he was putting the pizza, something like that. I forgot, but something like not pleasant. I'm not going to eat pizza tonight. Okay, thanks to me. But they made a nasty video about, the pizza. So the president of Domino's responded with the video and apologized, and that kind of shows that the courage and the guts for them to admit and fix it. And that actually brought more customers. Can you believe it? Right? So sometimes, just be transparent. And a lot of, right now what's happening is, you will see a lot of companies, HR blog, people don't even call anymore. They go to Twitter or Facebook, and they leave those comments. And they leave it, and they respond. They don't delete it. For a reason. Why? Because that's called transparency. Because when people see that, oh, you're a business owner, you're a company, you're leaving the bad comment, and responding, you're helping, you know what? You trust me. Okay? That actually creates more trust. But people think the opposite sometimes, unfortunately. Be accessible, that means if they reach you, to talk to you, to tweet you, to Facebook you, respond. Make sure, have you seen some Facebook pages that does not allow you to post? Like, what the heck? Why would you have a Facebook page that you post, but nobody can comment separately? That's not good. Let the comment box open, because that way you are accessible. Or have the message box open so they can contact you. Does that make sense? And be responsive. Do your best to respond right away. If somebody tweets right now, don't respond to them after 1 year. Okay? You're going to look very bad. Acknowledging other people. What I mean by that, sometimes you have customers that like your post, read your comment on the blog, share your material like your YouTube channels or whatnot. I mean, just say thanks to them. Just like in real life. I mean, if somebody helped you and give you like a nice plate, you're not just gonna look at him and just take the plate and go. You're just gonna say thank you, right? Same thing on social media. It's the same thing, same behavior. If somebody comments your blog, connect with them. I have a friend. I'm training him on how to start his online business. He was a fan of this another expert in the motivation and health and fitness and whatnot. So he was asking me, how can I make that person allow me to have my guest blog on his website, because he got probably tons of followers. Should I just ask him? Should I just email him? You know how the success people say, take action? I said, yeah, bro, you are 50% right and 50% wrong. Okay, you're right about the action, but the approach is not right. Because that guy probably received tons of requests. Because it's very popular, right? So what do you think he does? Ignores it, right? So you have to come up with a strategy. Do you read his blog? Yes, I read all of it. Have you commented on any one of them? No. I'm like, what? You read all this blog content, you can't even comment? I said, go back. Don't say just thank you. Say how this material affected you, how this helped you. What did you learn from this? And sometimes disagree with him. That'll be fun. Okay? You can disagree, so the conversation starts to happen. So open some in fire. After that, you apologize. Everything will be good. Okay? So I told him to do that, and I'm not kidding. In 1 week, he got a reply from the blogger, the owner, and he showed me a message. Nice response. I said, good, keep doing it. Build a relationship, build a trust. Then ask him, hey, I'm writing a content, and you're a part of it. Would you like to take it? Do you think he's going to refuse? No. Do you see what I'm saying? That is the proper way of doing things. That is called the Yusufied way. Okay? All right. So acknowledge other people and reciprocate. If somebody help you, if somebody comment, go there and do your best to comment. You know, we have some people like, I started this blog, I joined this blogging community, and nobody commented in my blog. I'm like, did you comment on their blog? No. Another one, okay? So you gotta go back and, you know, put some time. What you want, here's the thing. Here's one of my rules. What you wish for yourself, wish for others. Or what you wish for others, wish for yourself. Okay, whatever. You got the picture. So if I don't want to be successful, I need to make sure other people are successful. Does that make sense? If I want to get help, if I want to be helped, I have to make sure I help other people. Does that make sense? I don't know if you believe in the philosophy. I do believe in that 100%. Okay. So that's what I mean by reciprocate. Don't just be stingy. Give, and you will get more back. Okay. Don't spend your time in one place. That was your question. So I wouldn't just stick on Facebook. I would use Twitter. I would use all kinds of resources. Because why? I don't own any one of them. I don't own Facebook. I don't own Twitter. One day they could remove me from Twitter account, right? So why should I stick to one place? I have my website. I have my social channels. I have my YouTube. I have everything. Of course, if you're one person, it'll be a little bit difficult, so you have to manage your time. But if you have a team, let them do all the work. And I'm sure in this college, you have a lot of awesome students that can help you out for credits, right? Any questions so far?
I do have one.
Yes, please.
Is it a good idea to have your own website as compared to just using social medias?
Excellent question. I would say yes. Because your own website is your real estate. And you have a full control. Social media, you don't have full control. I mean, because you actually don't own them. You see what I'm saying? But I highly recommend you to get your domain name, not just your actual name. Take that. Get it before somebody else will get it from you, okay? Get the domain name, get a web hosting service, install WordPress, and start blogging. Start writing stuff. You'll be surprised that some companies will look at your content and they probably hire you because you're sharing a lot of awesome stuff. How do you think these gamers get all these deals on YouTube?
The presence.
Yes, they have a presence and they have reviews. A lot of these makeup artists, they get tons of deals. And some bloggers in San Antonio make like $2,000 to $3,000 just doing promotional reviews. Tide, send them, hey, here's the new Tide, and we'll pay you $1,000 and just give us a review. You know, mommy bloggers. Okay, so you can do that too. Okay, start your own website. I highly recommend you to do that, and you know, start putting some content and share them in the social media. Build your reputation, and eventually you'll be surprised the company will approach you. You can be a freelancer from now. Don't tell me I'm going to start freelancing or a business when I graduate. I will see you and you do that one more time on your head, okay? Start right now and start today. All right, any more questions? Are we good? Nobody still lost their hair? Okay. And guess what? You all been officially Yusufied approved. Okay? There you go. That's it. I'm done with the class, and let's have a Q&A session. It was like, all right, good one.
I'll start.
Yes, go ahead.
I actually tried to implement some of the things that you said and address some of the technical questions that I saw were sometimes misrepresented online about my product. Mm-hmm. And so I had like a little Karen answers questions thing. And the problem that and first I was like, this is great, you know, this is my company, all the things I love, I'm going to implement it, truth and facts and transparency, and people want me bullshitted like they would be with some of my competitors. It's a medical device, so it has something to do with technical stuff and FDA, and so I wanted them to understand why we do things the way we do them. Right. But rather than people saying, oh, now I get it, I can't have glitter in this thing because there's no medical grade glitter. Right. They were super pissed, and eventually I just stopped doing it. Really? Like, I thought the facts would help them understand how things work, and then they'd go like, oh, okay, well that's pretty neat that at least you got purple, even so I can't have liver.
Wow.
So after a while, I just thought, okay, well, we're shutting this thing down. Like question 5, I gave up on it because there was so much negative responses to it, to where the whole feeling of that people got when they read it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt they were just like being bummed out by it rather than, yeah, let's get that.
Hmm. And
so what did I do wrong?
Well, we'll have to see the message, how the message was delivered.
Right.
That's the first thing. And where it was delivered.
Right.
Does that make sense? And like, was it in a group? Was it in, where was it exactly?
I put it on my Facebook page.
Okay.
I did it like that. Every Monday I would do this is a question we get a lot of times. Here is what I can tell you about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the question came from the audience, or you just?
It was questions that, like, especially during the FDA approval process, people would already email us and inquire, or
right.
They would ask, why do we have it only in this version and not in the beta version yet? And I would
right.
try to explain the colorants have to be FDA cleared and stuff like that. And I always try to be very honest and really explain why things happen the way they do.
It happened, yeah.
But it almost felt like they didn't like the facts, so they didn't like the whole message.
Maybe the truth hurts.
Yes.
First thing is, truth hurts. That's the first thing. Now we'll start. Well, I mean, really have to look at it and understand why they behave like that. Secondly, don't stop right there. Go ahead and tweet it. Go ahead and do a YouTube video. See how it is, because every social channel are not the same.
Right.
The audience in YouTube are not going to react to the same thing like the audience in Periscope. So in Facebook, if a lot of them, I mean, it's hard to believe that all of them are negative. I'm sure some of them were like, yes, this is good, this is okay, but all of them said no, all of them had a bad feeling.
No, but it's again where it's a niche market, so
right.
there are certain people that are very invested in this, and they post, and they have an opinion, and like I can almost predict which people will be there to say, no, we hate it.
We hate it, right? Say, good for you, okay? Yeah, well, I mean, you can't make everybody happy, that's a fact, that's the thing, but I think if you add more information to a different medium, like through the video and whatnot, or have somebody else that can help you to come and respond on your behalf as well. Because sometimes when you're always responding, oh, you are the part of the product, you're always going to be biased, of course. But if somebody else says no, a customer or somebody else that had a good experience, have them come and say it.
Right.
It could be the language that you use to present the.
Well, I don't know that. I mean, that's why I have to look to understand what exactly happened. Yeah.
Or you go very scientific names, or I don't know.
And with technical and FDA stuff, that is
Too
of course
technical, maybe.
part of.
Yeah, you can put like technical, put a bracket, put a baby language. Right? So you can try that just for the joke of it, right? Because like when I teach search engine optimization or SEO, which stands for selling enormous octopus, right? So I try to use terms that completely simplification, because really sometimes there are some terms that really makes no sense. What's the point? These geeks, they just made it up so they can confuse more people, right? So we don't want that. So if you have a chance, just connect with me on Facebook and let me look at it and let me understand what exactly happened. But don't stop right there. Don't let that discourage you.
Right.
My point is, in business, when we reach success, you're gonna, like they say, you're gonna get knocked out a million times until you just, never stop, basically, right? So I wouldn't stop. I will figure out, okay, so if this created some sort of negativity, maybe I should come with a different topic, or maybe I should say it differently. Maybe this wasn't the right time. I don't know. But you have to do more research and figure it out, and at the same time, use it somewhere else. Because the audience in Facebook might be a little pissy, but maybe in Pinterest or somewhere else, they might be more acceptable.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So that's what I would do. But let me check it so I can give you better feedback. Any more questions? This is a Q&A session right now. You can ask anything about my, shoes, I guess.
I have a question. What's your background? What do you do this?
My background? I'm Hispanic.
How did you get into this?
I'm glad you asked. Well, it was actually a hobby. My friend from California, he started different projects, and one of the projects that kind of attracted me to it is called the UMA Film, which is a blog that teaches people how to make movies. And the funny thing about this website, UMA Films, is that both of us, or some of our friends, did not know how to make movies. But we were teaching people how to make movies. Isn't that hilarious? We even said that we're not a filmmaker, but we are learning and teaching. So whatever we're learning, we're sharing it, basically. So that's how it started. So within 6 months, he started the first video blog and we got like, this was in 2006, okay? And that video blog was just a joke for our friends, like an internal joke, you know? We just put it out there because nobody else was doing it. And within 1 week, we got like more than 30,000 views. Wow, 30,000 views. And then we started to put it every Friday. It's like a comedy with advice and whatnot. And within a year, we generated like more than 9 million viewers. And we didn't spend that much money in that thing, right? So from there, I'm like, wow, it's amazing, blog and whatnot, and vlog and all this cool stuff. I got into it, I started helping him. Then, eventually, when we would go to different conferences, business people started to approach us. Like, okay, so how did you get traffic? What is this blog? What is this video blog? And from there, we start to, give all these answers, do free service, right? Help as many people as we can, and until we used to get like 500 emails in like 3-4 days. I was like, so like answering all this email, I get tired. You know what? I can't do this. I told my friend, man, this is too much. He writes the script, I look at it, I approve it, he takes it back, and he shoots it, he uploads it, and I take all the videos and upload it manually to all the other 50 video sites to get all the traffic. But eventually, when the demand got too much, we have to stop answering until one person said, how about if I pay you? I'm like, yes, pay me. And from there, the rest is history. So that's how I took it as a hobby, then as a freelancer. Then in 2008, I took it seriously. Then I hired team. So we do mobile website, we build mobile apps, we do SEO, social media. But my true passion is I love to coach and teach. That's what I do. But I'm not a guru, though, by the way, okay? All right. More question, please. Yes?
Okay, so you were saying that, we should get our name and we should buy it.
Yes.
For somebody else. But where do we go to do that?
You can go to GoDaddy, you can go to Namecheap.com, you can go to SiteGround. In fact, if you go to SiteGround, you can get the domain free for the first year, and after that, you're going to pay like $15. You can also get a hosting through them for like $47. Now, if you want to give me a commission, go to siteground.com/go/Yusuf so I can get paid $50 for every sign up. All right? They give you an affiliate commission. So if you need some help, let me know. I can help you how to set up a website. In fact, maybe next month I'll do a class on I'll do a seminar on how to build a website using WordPress platform. Like from scratch, from the beginning, everything. And we did it so many times, yeah?
When is that?
I haven't put the date yet, but it's going to be sometime on Saturday of next month. Maybe
from
like
9 to 4.
Yeah, from 9 to 3, I think. It used to be from 8 to 5, but people were crying, so I could reduce the hours to 9 to 3 with the 1 hour lunch break. So if you guys want to do it here, we can. But it's going to be like, we're going to show you how to get the domain, how to get the hosting, how to install the WordPress, and we're going to go on the back end of WordPress. We're going to tell you every single thing, what each single thing means. We'll talk about the strategies and how to build a proper website and how to get traffic. Because a lot of people, what they do, they focus too much on the cosmetic of things. So they spend like $5,000, $10,000 on a nice looking website, like a building a Mustang with no engine, right? So that's what happens. So what I teach people is that don't worry about the Mustang, don't worry about the engine, just build, I don't know, a donkey with a cart. That's for now, because you're just starting right now, right? So build a basic website that is functional, works very well, and the customer can look and find what they need, push some traffic, make some conversion, make some money. Then after that, go back and make it look like a prince, right? Because it makes no sense initially spending all this money and you don't even know when you're going to get it back. Does that make sense? I have a friend who started, it's like a food truck / t-shirt print. So he used this truck, it goes to different, like a soccer event or whatnot, and he prints on the spot, like in a food truck style, right? So he did some research to buy the truck and whatnot. It's close to like $100,000. And he doesn't have that kind of money. So he was looking for loans and startup. I said, dude, how much do you have right now? How much do you have? 5. I said, amazing. You can do so much with 5,000. He's like, what do you mean? First, buy a print. Can you buy a used print machine for the t-shirt? He got probably like less than 1,000, I think. Awesome, excellent. Now, get a, the magnet for the truck, for your brand name, right? Yeah, like for $60, $150, get like 2 of them. Awesome. And maybe you can go to Squarespace, pay like $8, make a basic site. Woohoo, beautiful. Now, rent the damn truck. $120 in the weekend. You don't need to buy a fancy truck. I mean, do it. Just rent a truck for $150, $120. Find the events, schedule it, take the truck, have the nice logos, and go and start printing, just like like a ghetto style. Should I say that? Or bootstrapping. Keep it simple. You don't have to make it so difficult. Does that make sense? And of course, he saved a lot of money. He didn't even spend the $5,000. Half of them left. And a few weeks ago, before the end of the year, he told me, dude, I win. It wasn't that great, but I sold some t-shirts. There you go. That motivates you now. Does that make sense? And you have enough money left. So I taught him the strategy on, you're going to work hard. It's going to take some time. Save some money. Put 10-15% for the marketing. Then build it slowly and slowly until you have enough money. Then get your own truck and whatnot. Does that make sense? That's how you have to think. Not like, I'm going to get a loan. Loan, are you hiring money? Okay. Any more questions? I'm sure you all have a lot of questions. I can feel it. Now I can feel it. Anything else? So don't forget to I'm going to show you this something real quick. If you want to attend all the workshop, there is a website. If you can write this one down, go to meetup.com/SA online.
So would our students be interested in hosting a day-long workshop in WordPress? Yeah. Hosting it up? So we could do that for
At no cost. Equivalent to $1,000.
There's plenty of room here on Saturday.
Okay. So let's do that.
We should do as many things as we can before those freshmen and sophomores fill.
Okay.
They're coming.
They're coming, right? We'll have to take it over. I gotta take it over. I'm gonna have all my stickers everywhere. Use some of the stickers. Who is this guy? Okay? So please join this meetup. It's meetup.com/SA online marketing. So once we post the class, you are gonna get a notification. Then you can RSVP if you wanna come or not. Okay? If you have any suggestion, any topic you want me to cover, let me know. But for sure, we're gonna do a WordPress seminar next month, right here.
Did you load the slides?
I didn't. I'll load it when I go home. Okay, and all the PowerPoint that we present, it's in the meetup for the members. So you can download it, do whatever you want with it, put your name. Okay, I give you that permission.
When you signed up for this one, were we automatically enrolled in it?
I don't think so. You have to join this. Okay? And I used to do like 10 classes a month, but now maybe like 5 or 4. But again, if you have more ideas, more requests, I'll be more than happy to do that for you, because I think today was the last class for this month, right here. So that's awesome. I hope the session was beneficial, and I hope you're all going to apply what I taught, because if you don't, all right. So thank you so much. Thank you, Jenny, and all the awesome students. Thank you. All right, let's see. All right, folks on Periscope, thank you so much for waiting. These are the awesome people right there. Woo-hoo. All right. So if you have any question, go ahead and send me a tweet, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. And have a good night, crazy folks.